ever think that religion is just ancient society's ways of dealing with aliens or things that they encountered?
No, but now I am.
Put a pin in it.
Whoa.
Let's just get started.
Okay. Whoa.
Hit it up.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of I Love This, You Should Too. I am Samantha. He is Indy. And we are here to talk about Happy Feet.
Happy Feet. So this was your pick. Why did you pick this one?
Because we love penguins
Mm-hmm.
and
Dancing
and
Singing.
music and singing. So I thought, why haven't we seen this?
And one of our best friends, this is his favorite movie.
Yes,
So we needed to watch it.
exactly. So we watched it.
Oh, and this is going to be spoiler filled in case you would listen to a podcast on Happy Feet and not want it spoiled for you.
And then be upset if it got spoiled.
Yeah.
Which is strange.
We're going to do that and we'll, I guess, analyze. Well, let's get to this first.
Yeah.
Usually we pick something that is one of our favorites that the other person hasn't seen.
Yeah.
This was just something we should see.
Yeah, it was, we should have seen this.
Also, when we watch a movie, you don't really want to talk about it unless it's for this podcast. We watched it 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Not yesterday, the day before.
Yeah.
And yesterday you were like, so what was going on? And you never care.
No.
This one perplexed you.
Oh, man. I
And-
thought about it like all day yesterday.
And I was excited to have one where I don't need to get into any sort of deep analysis. It's like, oh, it's penguins dancing. And then that's not what I got.
No.
I am changed.
For the better?
I don't know.
Oh.
And confused and a little maybe upset.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I found it kind of upsetting.
Yes, absolutely. It was upsetting. So yeah, let's just start maybe some reactions off the beginning before we really get into it. Yes, I felt upset by it. I thought much of it was not good. And then the things that were good were confusing and disturbing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good wrap up.
Did you like it?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
This is what I was thinking about all day yesterday. I was at work, working away, and every so often, Happy Feet would come back into my brain. And I was like, what even was that? I don't understand what this movie was trying to do. Because, like, sometimes when it's a bad movie, you can see what they were going for.
They tried something and failed.
Yeah.
I don't know if this failed at anything.
This was, like, creepy and unsettling.
Yeah. In a few different
In
ways,
many different
too.
ways.
Because right off the beginning, I have a note here that simply says, like, because I have kind of big blocks of text that are about one theme or another.
Yeah.
And then in the middle, I just have the line, this movie is too horny.
Yes.
Don't make a penguin kids movie this sexual.
No, it was incredibly sexual in a way that was very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. And that was like at the beginning. That was the disturbing parts at the beginning that I didn't care for.
I always enjoy when a kids movie does like a throwaway joke to the parents.
Sure, yeah.
Because it goes over the kids' heads. They don't know any better. This was like sexual in a way that I feel like kids might ask questions about.
Yeah, it's a lot of longing looks by penguins and them like miming sexual positions and then just implied orgies. And
Yeah.
it's weird. And I don't like that they give some penguins like boobs.
Yeah.
That was weird. I
And,
don't like a sexy animal.
Sexy penguin walk.
Yeah.
Those are two things that don't go together.
No, penguin walks are not sexy.
Penguins are adorable and the way
Yes.
that they walk is funny.
Let them be adorable.
Yeah.
Don't try to make a sexy penguin. I did not care for that part.
Yeah, no, that was creepy.
Who's the sexiest penguin?
I assume Gloria is supposed to be the sexiest penguin? Or is it
I was
the
going to say
mom?
like a third year Chris Letang.
What?
the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, right.
He was a good looking dude, I think, right?
I don't know.
Oh, Eric Carlson? That's a sexy penguin when he was there.
He's a sexy penguin.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about Happy Feet and Happy Feet only.
Yeah, Gloria was oddly sexual and I didn't care for it.
And the mom.
The mom, oh my God. Well, first of
Norma
all,
Jean.
Norma Jean and Memphis calling each other mama and daddy constantly.
That was creepy.
And Norma Jean's voice.
Uh-huh. Very creepy.
You do a good Norma Jean voice.
Oh, daddy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
See, and you listening probably are like, oh, that was weird. Why would she do that? Because that's what's constantly happening.
That
in this
is
movie.
like 90% of her lines.
She says, dance for him, daddy. And then he just keeps going, oh, mama, oh, mama.
Yeah.
And he's doing like an Elvis voice. And it's Hugh Jackman and
Nicole Kidman.
And
who are like good actors.
yeah.
And like respected in their fields.
I'm going to like
This is
be very unequivocal and just say I hated both of their performances and characters.
I agree.
So much. It bothered me a lot, both of those characters.
Yeah, I agree. It was very unsettling and I did not enjoy it and was like waiting for it to end, basically.
So the first half, it was exactly what I thought this movie would be, but a worse version of it. It's just dancing penguins, singing penguins.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's just like, oh, I'm different. We don't want you here. You're different. And you're going to have to go on some sort of journey. And here's a bunch of racial stereotypes for some reason.
Yeah.
Why do all of the emperor penguins have many different accents and they're all over the place, but then all of the Adelie penguins are all Hispanic? That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. It would have made more sense if they were Australian.
Well, it's funny that the emperor penguins were largely played by Australians.
Yeah.
And emperor penguins, did they ever get to Australia? Adelie penguins do get to South America, so maybe that's why they have over-the-top Mexican accents, because they're like, you know what, tip of Argentina, Mexico, same thing.
Some sort of Hispanic area somewhere. Yeah. The accents in this were a little upsetting.
Yes.
And like just the stereotypes that they went with.
Yeah. Well, first we also have to go and talk about Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Robin Williams plays 4 parts in this.
Which is wild.
And he's just Robin Williams-ing it up.
Oh, so
I know I am definitely in the minority. People love Robin Williams and people don't want to hear anything bad because like he passed away and it was tragic and everything like that. Sure, he's good in many things.
Yeah.
I don't care for Robin Williams for the most part because I feel like every movie with him in it is just like clear some space. I'm going to Robin Williams it up all over the place. And that's what this movie did a lot.
Yeah.
When that character who is like the heretic cult leader, I forget his name. It's just Robin Williams doing stand-up for a few minutes at a time.
Lovelace.
Yeah, Lovelace. And do stand-up. I don't like when stand-up people just do stand-up and take over a movie because it is very disruptive to the flow of the movie. And just like, hey, let's stop this kid's movie so I can do all my character work.
Yeah, the flow of this movie seemed very off.
The pacing was
It was
bizarre.
very stop and start. And then all of a sudden you'd have like 15 minutes of like action-packed moments where so much is happening. And then they stop and talk to a seagull.
And then the tone
For
shifts
15 minutes.
as well.
Yeah.
Because I think it was about 5 minutes in where I was like, oh, he's different. He's going to be ostracized. And then you'll have to go on a journey and prove himself and save everyone.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen until more than halfway through.
Yeah.
It
was
weird.
very strange. And it didn't make a lot of sense to me the order things were in either.
Like how this movie starts in outer space?
Yeah.
Why?
That wasn't necessary.
That's so strange.
I like was thinking about that too because I was like, why wasn't it in space? And I was like, did the illustrator have some cool like side project where he like drawing space and was like, it was open on his desk and the filmmaker was like, hey, what's that?
Hey, I already animated this and that movie lost its funding. So can we throw it into this penguin
We
movie?
throw some space in?
Like, I don't know if we really need a sun, like close-ups of the sun and going around the solar system. But no, they put it in.
No, apparently we needed space in this.
Also, this movie won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature.
I know.
Isn't
That's
that
why
wild?
I was confident picking this.
Yeah.
That it would actually be good. Little did I know that that was not going to be an indicator of this being good at all.
No. It made me think that maybe the CG in this was amazing for its time, 2006. But then I looked at some things that came out in the years before it. I'm like, it's good for its time.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's that impressive. But looking at it now, it does not look impressive at all. And I know that's just, yeah, because that type of animation has come very far very quickly, but it's not particularly impressive.
Yeah. The things that came out in 2006 were Over the Hedge, which was like a squirrel movie.
Yeah. The nominees for Best Animated Feature that it beat were Cars and Monster House.
Oh, see, I think Cars was more impressive animatedly.
Monster House admittedly doesn't look amazing, but it is a better movie. Monster House is a good movie. Mm-hmm. But Best Animated Feature, of course, they kind of ignored the rest of the world because although those were the big American movies, this was the same year that The Girl Who Leapt Through Time came out, which is in my top 10 animated movies of all time. Paprika came out, Tales from Earthsea, and Tales from Earthsea is very well respected. Tech on Concrete, which I know that one is kind of niche, but it's very good. Mm-hmm. It's they're all better than this.
Yeah. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me, this entire movie, and the fact that this was made and won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
It's very strange. I don't get it. I would really like someone who loves this movie to explain it to me.
Because I guess the most basic reading, which I think we can all see, is like it's a stand-in for anyone who is different and ostracized from their community, or their life is more difficult because of it. So you can use a stand-in of any type of disability or mental illness, or a lot of the things he goes through. I think you could do a quick switch of him being like queer in a way, right? Because everyone is one way and very early in his life. Also, the minute he's born, not the minute, 10 seconds into his birth, he's been alive for 10 seconds and his dad's like, why are you like this? You're doing it wrong. You are living your life incorrectly. 10 seconds. He was just born. He was literally just born.
Yeah. I feel like baby penguins don't walk around as much as Mumble does. And I think he's doing a pretty good job, being that he just got legs. I'm on Mumble's side.
And I like the reading of it being a stand-in for being gay, because then he does things like, he does the lip syncing bit, which you could say it's like you're trying to pass or using a beard or whatever it is. And then there's lines about like other people who are like, oh, it's just harmless. Let him be this way. But then the religious leaders say like, no, it's wrong. And you know what? This famine, it's your fault.
It's
somehow.
your fault. Yeah.
And he's like, how? That has nothing to do with my dancing or who I love or whatever it is. Yeah. And they're like, you know what? Actually, we think it's your fault. And then they also go like, it's you and those foreigners. They just say that. So they're not like
very overt with it.
Yeah.
It's very upsetting.
Well, then the Adelaide Penguins are the foreigners who are also blamed. They have different accents. And maybe I'm just going on this because I read too many books set in 1970s New York, but racial minorities and the gay community, they were intertwined in so many ways. Musically, mostly, is what I always read about. But you can see that happening in this one, too.
This is kind of what I did all day yesterday. It was like, well, this was kind of fun. And then I was like, no, it wasn't.
You thought about how the Amigos are representative of counterculture and being more accepting of others. And it often stems from being a minority yourself in one way or another.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't understand why this is weird. I feel like I don't have anything good to say about this movie, which is sad. The music that they picked is one thing that I have a very hard time with.
Strange choices.
So,
very strange choices.
Jukebox musicals are, a huge thing now.
Sure.
And kids, I think, was Trolls a jukebox musical?
I've never actually seen it, but I'm going to say yes.
I think it was. And that movie, there were kids like, and when that came out, like I think I knew a lot of kids or like was coaching or whatever. There was so many songs from Trolls that were being sung out in the world. Very, very popular. And this movie, I don't know that I've ever heard anybody singing any of these songs ever.
I might occasionally sing Kiss, but
you like that era of
because
music.
I like Prince.
But
That's
this is
not
like supposed to be a children's movie.
Why they chose these songs is very strange.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's a bunch of bad choices. I'm saying it is a very odd assortment of songs to pick together, and then just an odd assortment to pick in a children's movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, you're supposed to be able to like sing along, like jukebox musicals, they use familiar music that you already know to get you into like the show and like get you like bopping around. This was like weird tempos of songs that are like recognizable. So like the ones that you might actually know the words to were sung very differently from how they actually are.
Yeah, so at the beginning, you get Nicole Kidman singing Kiss and doing like a really bad... Not that she's a bad singer.
No.
It's a bad version of the song because it's weird and slowed down. And it's a sexy penguin doing a sexy dance singing right at you about like wanting your body and wanting your sex, which is not comfortable.
No.
And then you get Hugh Jackman's like over the top, real bad Elvis doing Heartbreak Hotel, and they sing it back and forth, and those songs don't really mash up, but they manage to do it anyways. And then it turns into like an operatic version of both of them. It was terrible. It was musically terrible, I thought.
It was musically terrible. And this is like a musical was one of the reasons why I picked it. Because we love a musical.
Sure.
And I read that it was like a jukebox musical. So I was like, great. It'll be songs that we know. Nope.
Kind of.
But like not, you wouldn't be able to sing along to this movie, I don't think.
No, you cannot.
Like, because it is just so strange.
Unless you only know the songs from this movie. And in which case, I kind of feel sorry for you.
Yeah. Go listen to the originals. It's way better.
So Mumble was named by Gloria because there's an egg, she taps on it and goes, "Come on, Mumble." And they're like, "All right, your name's Mumble now." And then one time they go like, "Mumble Happy Feet." So his last name is Happy Feet?
I guess so.
Was that a family name? Was it Memphis Happy Feet?
No, because Memphis was so against dancing.
But he said that at some points in his life, he was backsliding, meaning that he like dabbled in homosexuality. He was like a little bi in college.
Oh, yeah. He experimented.
So he experimented with dancing, I think.
Oh.
Right?
So he's like the town from Footloose.
Yes. Oh, man, there was a lot of Footloose in this.
There was.
We should have just done Footloose.
We should have.
Have you seen Footloose?
Yes.
You haven't seen Dirty Dancing?
No.
All right, we should just do Dirty Dancing.
Anyway,
his name is Mumble Happy Feet.
Mumble Happy Feet.
Okay.
So like these penguins are so against dancing. You'd think that like they would have changed their last name away from the thing that is forbidden.
Or maybe penguin culture doesn't, last names don't pass on, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe he's like,
I learned a lot about penguin culture in this, honestly.
He's got the happiest feet around. He must be a happy feet.
He did say it right at the beginning, too.
True.
It's like, "Why are your feet like that?" And he's like, "I'm happy." And they're like, "Oh, you have joy? Let us crush that for you." Because 10 seconds into his life, his dad says, "Don't do that. That's not what penguins do." Then he goes to school, and there's a lesson like, "Today we're going to learn what a heart song is." 10 seconds later, he's like, "Oh, like this?" And they go, "No. You are no penguin." He just learned what it was, and you're all right. Like all those other penguins didn't have their heart songs either, but like, you're no penguin.
You're incorrect. I also was like kind of upset by the fact that like all these penguins are being hatched. They're all hatching. It takes Mumble like 10 extra minutes to hatch.
If that, yeah.
Like, calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Everyone in
They're
this
like,
movie, just calm the fuck
he's
down.
dead. Give the egg to this baby.
Move on.
Move on. I guess you're going to have to tell your wife that your chick's dead.
Yeah.
Give him another like 20 minutes. These eggs also like assume that all the moms went into labor simultaneously and like laid these eggs all at the same time so that they all had the exact same trajectory of incubation.
Well, it's interesting that they're all hatched on the same day, but Mumble never ages.
No.
Or he ages. He never
gets
becomes
taller.
an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we just get into penguin religion? Because I need to understand penguin religion.
Yes. I would like to talk about penguin religion.
So the penguin religion is, they do
Craziness.
have a religion. And I think a lot of the readings of this movie are religious in nature.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to start or do you want me to jump
No,
in?
you go.
Because you know I have a
You've
bunch
got
of
a
junk.
whole thing, I'm sure. So you go.
So I think the clear way that kind of goes into the reading of him being different or queer or however you want to look at it. There's a group of elders who represent this older religious dogma, and they are resistant to change and they cannot accept new knowledge. And because of that, they are kind of dooming their society because they won't listen to reasons for why the fish are not coming anymore.
Right.
They won't listen to the fact that it's humans doing it because they're like, no, we had to listen to the Great Gwyn. But the Great Gwyn is real, right?
Yeah.
There is a literal god that is sometimes semi-corporeal.
Yeah.
So let's just sit with that.
Yeah.
There is a penguin god in this universe.
Yeah.
And this universe, they kind of say, is our universe. So there are literal penguin gods. And this movie is a theistic movie. This movie says that God is real.
Yeah.
At least penguin god. But it kind of implies that probably other gods too.
Whoa, man.
I think I kind of
just
like
like us.
the Great Gwyn. I'd pray to the Great Gwyn.
I like the idea of the Great Gwyn, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to change my religion on the next census. Be like, oh, I'm adherent to the Great Gwyn.
Yep.
But then Mumble is like a Christ figure, right?
Yeah.
Because he is not a part of the current religion, which is singing based, because you sing to bring out the Great Gwyn.
Yeah.
You sing to show your respect, and the Great Gwyn bestows its blessings upon you, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
But Mumble does not. So he does not have he's a heretic.
Yeah.
Much like Jesus in the Roman Empire, right? So Mumble also gets his group of disciples, the amigos, to go on a journey. There's also a love interest, but Mumble remains a virgin.
Yeah.
Even though there is a Mary Magdalene type.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think, we'll talk about it later, I think Mumble dies for our sins.
Wow. Mumble.
I think Mumble might be Jesus. I think that maybe is what the writers were doing. I don't know.
Yikes. I think it's a classic indie reading of a movie.
Okay. Classic indie reading, yes. What do you think?
I think you could be correct. It does seem very plausible. He goes on a journey. He
has disciples.
Yeah, he's a little penguin fan.
Dance is the new religion.
Yeah.
And he does come back and convert everyone, really.
Everyone dances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't see the Great Gwyn after that.
No.
Do you think Mumble essentially kills God?
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, do you have something? I feel like I'm just going to keep going.
No, I don't have a lot to say on penguin religion other than
That's such a good sentence. You know what? Actually, I don't have that much to say about penguin religion.
other than this movie did feel very culty.
Yeah.
It was very, very much like everyone conforms. You sing your heart song or you get out.
Well, I would say not culty as much as just organized religion.
Yeah, which is very culty.
What's the difference?
I don't know.
Because I would say that the penguin religion of be like us or get out is just religion, organized religion. And then whatever Lovelace is doing, he has a cult.
Yes, that is a cult.
Because his is clearly for profit as well. That you have to pay him and he's going to tell you, answer some question for you. But he's clearly a fraud. I don't think they're playing it as like, oh, is this real or is it not? He's a fraud. And he's also using it for sexual advantage because there are many women there. And he very clearly goes off to have sex with those 6 or 8 lady penguins.
Lady penguins. That's, yeah.
That's in this movie.
Yep. Yeah. Penguin religion seems like something I don't really want a part of.
I don't know. I think I do. I think I like it better than a lot of religions, maybe. It's pretty much the same. But this one, there is, you know what? There is a big difference. This one is provably real. The Great Gwyn exists.
Apparently, yeah.
Because we see the Great Gwyn.
Yeah.
But you know who else we see? Oh, wait a minute, though. So you could argue that there's something magic. Because they do their prayer to the Great Gwyn, and you see the Great Gwyn.
Right.
But Memphis sings his heart song instead, and he sees Norma Jean. Norma Jean?
Yeah.
That was Marilyn Monroe's real name, wasn't it? She's based on Marilyn Monroe. I get it now. That's why she talks like this.
Yeah.
But Memphis sees Norma Jean.
Yeah.
So maybe it's some other type of magic, but not necessarily proving that the Great Gwyn is real.
Right.
But in conjuring Norma Jean and singing his heart song instead of praying, Memphis is putting Norma Jean above God. He's worshiping a false idol. I don't know. Is it that?
I don't know. I kind of got it as like, because the singing at the beginning is how they like find their true love. I felt like he was just affirming that like he should be with his family because he and his wife are meant to be together.
But I think the Great Gwyn would say, and everyone else there, you don't put anyone above your love for God.
True.
You shouldn't be putting your earthbound desires, like your love of this breathy, sexy penguin, above your duty to praising God.
Yeah.
So the Great Gwyn punishes him for this. Because just when he does that, what happens? The egg rolls away, and that's what we blame his deformation on. That is, Mumbles is dancing.
He was cold for like 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I don't think that's true, but I think that's what the movie says.
Yeah,
They say it several times.
Yeah.
So by not adhering to religion strongly enough, he's punished.
Yeah.
It's very Old Testament.
It is.
And because you did this, your son will now bear this mark and pay the price for not worshiping the Great Gwyn enough, for putting things above it.
Yeah.
You wanted to put your family above the Great Gwyn. Here's what I'm going to do to your family. And instantly, he hates his son.
Yeah. Which, like, I felt a little bad for Mumble.
Oh, you felt bad for a 10-second-year-old child who's being told that he's living his life incorrectly?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Although Mumble later on in life is not charming. I didn't care for him much.
I guess he got older. He was annoying. I was shocked that penguins come out knowing how to speak penguin.
Yeah, I was shocked how many newborns have accents.
Yeah, exactly. Why did Mumble never become an adult?
We'll get there. I have a theory for that too.
Okay.
But first, I'm not done on penguin religion yet.
Okay.
So another reason I think that the Great Gwyn is real in this world, they know all of these songs.
Yeah.
How do they know all the songs? They've never met humans before. They think they're some abstract version of aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know how we start in space? Do we end in space? And there's a feather floating in space. The Great Gwyn was an alien, came down to Earth. Either penguins are descendants of this alien, or they saw this alien, took it as God, and they are in fact getting these messages from God, but it's from this alien who knows music.
Well,
how else would they know all the songs?
Yeah. Huh.
And why is there a feather in space? Why is there a feather in space in this movie?
I don't know.
Or at least Mumble is an alien. And that's why he's like
different.
Yeah, that's why he's different.
And he's fuzzy.
I think the Great Gwyn was an alien.
I think you might be right.
The Great Gwyn is an alien who is now worshipped as a god because what's the difference? It's power beyond our knowing.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of religions were started by someone just saw an alien and like, what is that? Must be God.
Huh. You're giving me a lot to think about on this movie that I like fundamentally didn't get.
This is wild. This movie.
This whole
It's
movie
nuts.
is so weird. I don't know what this movie was all about. And the fact that there's two more movies.
Are there? I thought there was just one.
Oh, maybe it's only.
Should we watch it?
I guess. I assume it's about Mumble's kids.
Oh, and there's going to be something wrong with the kid. It doesn't sing or dance. It does mime only.
It's a mime. Get rid of him.
I would watch Happy Feet 2 because I would like to find out more about this religion and if God is real. Well, God is real. Is God a god?
Yeah.
Is God an omnipotent alien? Is there a difference? Huh. If there is an alien who seems omnipotent to you, is that not God?
Huh.
Should we talk about the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Because I said the first half, it's not good, exactly what to expect. And then it gets real weird. Well, what happens at the end of the movie?
So he goes to a zoo.
He swims to Florida.
Swims to Florida somehow. Is like half dead on the beach, gets picked up and put in the zoo. He becomes like mentally unstable in the zoo and then remembers his people, his penguin people, and they give him messages through his brain. And he then dances for a child who's very creepy and gets sent back to Penguin Land.
How? How does any of... So here's my question. So what is more plausible? That Mumble swims to Florida, skips everything in the middle.
Everything. There's like a
from Antarctica to Florida.
Huge continent between Antarctica and Florida.
So all he needs to do to get people to fish less is swim further than any penguin ever, and then communicate with humans who he thought are aliens, and then kind of unintentionally cause his own society to crumble by questioning their religion and their place in the universe. And also force humanity to have a similar thought process because they are now seeing the intelligence and communication of animals, so much so that there's worldwide protests. World War III almost starts.
Yeah.
And then it ends with he goes back somehow, magically. Mm-hmm. Humans come and see a choreographed 1,000 penguin dance, and then they decide that we will not fish anymore. So that's what the movie shows.
Yeah.
My theory is most of this, if not all, is in Mumble's head.
I was thinking that might be it.
I did just watch Jacob's Ladder last week, so I feel like that's in there. But it could be a few different ways. In the movie, it's hard to see where it happens, but you could say that he swam to Florida somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. Because how did he get this knowledge of people? So maybe the existence of people in this is showing that he is actually experiencing it because he wouldn't have known that otherwise.
Right, yeah.
So he goes, sees people, and then in that part where it says, like, and then in 3 months he went insane. I think the narration says he's there for 3 months and loses his mind.
Yeah.
None of those other penguins talk to him at all. They should all speak penguin.
Yeah, nobody ever speaks back to him. And he's like screaming.
The only people that talk to him are his old friends. So there is when I think he goes insane and everything else we see is his fantasy. Because what would he want to see in his fantasy? He sees his old friends. Mm-hmm. But even in his fantasy, he can't reconcile with the way his father had treated him. Mm-hmm. So you still see his dad in a hallucination turned away from him in silence. He is shunned even in his hallucination. And that actually made me real sad when I saw that.
It did.
His old friends, the love of his life, his mom, they call him Dave.
Yeah. So
that is a throwaway joke to be like 2001 A Space Odyssey, a Stanley Kubrick movie. Oh. That's what that reference is. But like, why? I think that is showing that this is the dissolution of the self. He has achieved ego death. Mm-hmm. Mumble Happy Feet no longer exists. His mind is gone. Also, we don't see him aging anymore because he's there for 3 months and then he goes all the way back. Presumably he swims all the way back. That's going to take a while. And he doesn't age during that because none of this is happening. He's just sitting there eating fish from a human hand, believing all this happened. And what would you want in your fantasy? Well, of course, the thing that has held you back and been this point of contention with your neglectful father, your dancing. Now dancing is going to save everyone. And your father is going to dance with you. And then he somehow dances well enough that the entire world changes and said, yes, let's give them fish because this penguin can dance.
Yeah.
I think it was all just in his mind.
He has like a mental break and he's gone forever. Yikes.
Either that or earlier, like possibly when it's with the killer whales or with the leopard seal. I think he died there. And the rest is like that brief moment right before death. And he has this big story that makes no sense.
Yeah.
That somehow his happy feet are going to save the world. And that's why he never ages, because he died.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah. But at least to him, he got some peace. Because remember when he first gets to the zoo, he thinks that's the afterlife. And we know that the great Gwyn is real. So I think he dies, the killer whale eats him. The great Gwyn gives this to him as his heaven. So because he has lived a good life. He's tried to help people. It's not his fault that he can't sing well. So maybe the great Gwyn is more forgiving, even though he wasn't to his father. His father didn't pray properly, gets a little cursed child. But Mumble, he's a little more forgiving with, because he's perhaps unable to pray in that way. So he gives him a glimpse of heaven. And heaven for Mumble is going back to his home, using this thing that had been this mark against him. And now everyone loves him because of it. And he's able to save all of his loved ones. And then the way he knows about humanity, because he's never met people. So how did he get all of that knowledge? The great Gwyn is an alien who clearly listens to Prince, so knows what people are.
Yeah.
Maybe is the same God that people believe in. It just manifesting itself as the great Gwyn for penguins, because it's this omnipotent alien and knows all of these other things, has knowledge of music. So then also shows Mumble what humanity is, how they can be terrible, but how his dancing can put an end to all of that and save everyone, because he was maybe the second coming of Christ. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. I didn't think that we'd get this in depth after watching a penguin movie, but I was like, I'm going to pick like a fun one. It's going to be easy. It's going to be like light, and we'll just like talk about how much we like penguins and like how fun the songs were. Nope.
I also think now that I'm thinking about it just right now, because this is the same director of those Mad Max movies, I think you could see this as a precursor to the Mad Max world as well, because Mad Max often deals with scarcity and a lone hero, but it's much about how society has crumbled because due to scarcity of one thing or another, in this case fish. So this is probably pre-Road Warrior.
Okay. Well then. It's a real Mad Max thing.
I don't know, I'm just going off now. Do you wanna wrap it up?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? What do you think about Happy Feet?
I don't know. I still feel like this was just a fever dream that had penguins in it.
Because it actually was the dream of a dying penguin, perhaps?
Yeah, perhaps. I think this movie was completely unhinged and not commercially viable, and shocking that it actually was like such a commercial movie.
So successful, yeah.
So successful. So many awards. It just like, it
That
was
shocks
everywhere for a while too. Like
the fact that it made a lot of money does not surprise me. The fact that it won an Oscar does surprise me.
Yeah. It was honored as one of the top 10 best films of the year at the American Film Institute.
Man, I guess this was also a time where having an environmental message was
really important.
Yeah, you would get a lot of credit just for doing that, and it has that.
Yeah. Happy Feet. What? That's my synopsis.
Would you recommend other people watch it?
Only so that you can tell me what you thought of it.
I think people should watch this movie. I think the first half is bad. With little glimpses of weirdness, and then where it goes at the end is so shocking and strange that it's interesting. And I'd love to hear what other people think. And I think that it gets into horror movie stuff at points, and not just like the leopard seal stuff was actually scary. It often has the camera work is purposefully unnerving and disorienting. And I think one of the best things it does to unnerve the audience, and we were talking about like dissolution of the self and ego death through Mumble, but what this movie does successfully is you are seeing this movie through the eyes of a penguin for so long that when you see a human, and humans in this are live action. It's not CG people. The people are all real, and the animals and the environments are all CG. So when you see a human, they are, as Mumble sees them, alien and grotesque and horrific. And you are a human watching this, and you've been in this world, you've been with the Great Gwyn long enough that you see the human as the other, as the alien. So this makes you look at yourself as the monster. And that is something that the best horror movies can do, that Happy Feet also does. It makes you question your existence of, am I the monster? And maybe that is the best way it can get out a message of conservation and environmentalism, because you're the monster. Fix it.
Whoa, man. That's a lot.
That's a lot. This movie's a lot.
This movie is so much more than I bargained for. Okay.
I don't know. Let's go to bed.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
All right. Well, join us again next week because it's episode 300.
Woo!
So for episode 300, is it 300 or are we at 250? No, it's 300.
It's 300.
It's 300. We do a special awards episode for the last 50 episodes.
Woo, woo,
So
woo, woo.
we'll give out all of our awards and talk about our favorite movies, characters, penguin gods, costumes, soundtracks from the last 50 episodes from those movies we have watched. So join us then. That's a fun one always.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And we'll set off on a course for 400, I guess. Let's go.
All right. It can't be harder than a penguin swimming to Florida.
Exactly.
Did that happen once? Maybe that's why it's in here.
Oh, maybe.
If this was based on a true story.
I would lose my mind. I do feel like I kind of lost my mind watching this.
Yeah.
I felt a little weird and crazy. Even like when we just like flipped through the movie really quickly while we were doing notes just now.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I'm getting dumber watching this.
But it's like 85% of the movie is just like dumb dancing. And then you get like the weirdest things for that other 15%.
Yeah.
Strange movie.
Okay. Happy Feet. Bye, everyone.
Hail the Great Gwyn.